Hey everyone, good morning. It's Facebook Live time. Today is Tuesday, and I decided to do something really fun today, which is free mini coaching sessions, okay? I got inspired to do this idea because I think it was last week or the week before. I had people write down their priorities in the comments, and I helped them kind of work through that. And I was really inspired to do this, but even fuller. These are mini coaching sessions, so they're not going to be like an hour long for each person. But you could easily participate by answering the 3 questions, which is, tell me what you sell, like your market, what is it? 2, what your challenges are, so what you need help with, what you're trying to figure out or whatever. And 3, what your goal is. And the goal technically could be monetary goal or whatever. And those will help me kind of guide you. And these are free mini coaching sessions. So I'll of course do each person as they come, and they won't last long. And of course, this is similar but fairly unlike a real coaching session. Real coaching sessions are much longer, much more in depth. Today, I'm happy to announce that you will, if you participate, you will leave with a general action plan, which is kind of fun, right? Kind of cool. Again, it's for free, and you would have a little bit more guidance. Obviously, if you have some guidance already, you probably don't need to participate in this. If you need some guidance, you're like, yeah, kind of lost. I'm doing 20 different things, kind of lost, or whatever. And whatever the challenges are, it could be any sort of challenge. It could be something specific, as in, how do I use Instagram to, grow my business? Or it could be something like, hey, I don't know what to start on first. I have these many priorities. Or hey, I can't get traffic to my website. What should I do? Blah, 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 blah. So if you want to participate, I want you to go ahead down below in the comments, write number 1, tell me what you sell. Number 2, what your challenges are. And number 3, what your goal is. Okay, again, the goal could be however you interpret it. It could be monetary goal or whatever kind of goal. Okay, let's get started. All people already commented. Just for the record, these free mini coaching sessions, they're short, right? So as I'm discussing some of these comments, some free advice, etc., just know that I don't know your business in full. While you may have some direction after, I read your comment and tell you what I think, it may require more details to help you, but this is not what this is about. This is a free coaching session. So the point is, I may need more details about your business that may help give you a better action plan, right? But in this free coaching session, I may not know that because we only have X amount of minutes to do a Facebook Live. Okay, so just know that as I'm answering these questions, I'm only basing off the information you tell me in the comments. It could obviously be more complicated than that because you might have other facets in your business that I don't understand, okay? All right, so let's begin. Stacy is the first one to comment with some details. Stacy sells custom art for pet lovers. She has a problem with conversions, and she has been working on photos forever, and her goal is to get traffic, which equals sales. Her goal is sales, right? But she needs more traffic to get those sales. So, Stacy, a couple of follow-up questions, if you don't mind answering down below. What is your current conversion rate? I've done a few Facebook Lives on conversions, and a lot of you can refer to it, but it's not as simple as looking through the Facebook Live and saying, okay, Daddy told me to work on conversions. That's what I have a challenge with. Let me look at the Facebook Live. Let me see her points that she's making and work on them. A lot of times we're blinded by the fact that we think our photos are great, or we think that, when somebody's checking out on your website or your listing, that the listing is highly engaging or effective, with the variations you use and information you provide. Sometimes it's not, and so I don't know what Stacey's conversions are. Hopefully she writes what they are. If she knows, if not, it's okay. I guess I don't really need the answer to this to know. Oh, around 1%. 1% is not horrible. Obviously you want to get it to be higher, so that's fine. Depending on price points and several other things in Stacey's market, this may be, the estimate of what is one of the best conversion rates. Okay, there are some markets out there that their conversion rates are lower than the standard, but it would be normal because they are higher priced, okay? But in general, how I would tell Stacey what to do for her challenges, really the first challenge, again, being conversions, is, yes, if you have an issue working on your photos, you need to obviously put the work in, but don't feel bad that it's taking you forever to work on photos. I worked on photos for a very, very long time. Okay, yes, I have a photographer that I currently use, but sometimes I do photos myself. And there's certain other things that I do in order to optimize photos. Guys, we talked about Whatify, I think the last Facebook Live. I don't know if you guys remember. which is a Etsy app that will test the first and second product photo. I'm going to be doing something very soon that will help me test certain ideas. And so what I'm trying to tell Stacy is you have to keep chugging along and trying to improve your product photos. Depending on the actual item itself, I would recommend using brand reps. There are a lot of brand rep groups on Facebook. And what that means is you have Instagrammers who take really nice photos, have your product take a real lifestyle photo for you, usually for free or at a heavy discount. And that will give you back some photography. I would honestly dig deeper into what, and this may mean you have to ask some of your customers. If you have them on an email list, this may be helpful, or someone that they're engaged. You have to ask them. I have to figure out the way exactly, but what is it that you don't offer on your current products that they wish? What could you do better? And again, I would probably reword those to make it more efficient so they're able to answer easily. When you have problem with conversion rates, what that means is somebody went to the listing and didn't purchase, okay? That means you actually got traffic to the listing, okay, but they didn't purchase, or a very low amount of people did. Again, 1% is not horrible, but you're always looking to improve, which is great. It's important to understand when Sally goes to your website and is on that listing and decides, I'm going to leave, why did she decide that? And why did John decide that? And why did Samantha decide that? Like all these people that came to your website. It's hard to sometimes grasp and understand without asking them. And so don't be scared to send out a survey to a customer. I usually do it once a year and asking certain type of questions like what product offerings do you wish I carried that I don't? What can I do a better job in pretty much? How can I better serve you, etc. So answering questions like that regarding product type, regarding the actual product, meaning they went to the product listing and didn't purchase. So something's wrong. Well, not with the product, but something they don't understand. Maybe you didn't convince them that it's a high quality product. Something got to give. And so ask them is probably the best way, okay? Another way that I use once in a while when I have time is I go to my Google Analytics is to check to see what pages they're leaving on. If Stacy goes in and she sees that people are leaving on the most popular page, such as this listing for this custom pet porch, this is the exact listing, but you find that that's their exit page, which again, you can see on Google Analytics, then there's a problem with that listing. They're not shopping around. So one, you want to make sure that you encourage shopping around by having related products on the bottom or something, okay? Or maybe a pop-up on that page that when they leave, that you get an email sign up. There's something like you could do to at least continue talking to them, because in Stacy's case, I know her items are higher priced, well worth it, but higher priced. She may need to, talk to that customer a few times. So email marketing is probably really key for her. Okay. Again, these are mini free coaching sessions, so I'm not going to get more into detail. I want to go through everybody as much as I can, but I hope that kind of gave you some guidance. Okay. Karina, she sells digital cutting files. To my challenge is conversions from views to buy. My goal is to build an audience that follows me religiously. Okay, so, well, that's awesome, because I think you could do that easily, because I'm assuming, Karina, that you sell to business owners, right? Give or take, maybe some crafters, but people that probably repeatedly need your items. You could comment down below and let me know if that's not the case, but I assume that's the thing. And so people that are business owners usually have more of a benefit to want to follow you and continue to get information from you, such as new product lines, etc. So I find it to be fairly easy to build an engaged following, an engaged audience that follows you. But let's get into your challenge. Your challenge is conversions from views to buy. So conversion rates, okay? And so like I talked to Stacy, your item is very particular, and so if you're selling to business owners or people that are using it to sell items, right? I'm assuming digital cutting files is, I might buy this text in a digital cutting file, and then I cut it on some vinyl, I guess, thicker vinyl, whatever, and I slap it on somewhere, and then I sell this product as an end product. And so the biggest thing for you, Karina, the biggest thing is, because if you're selling to business owners or even regular people who are crafters and using it for themselves, is the design, is the style, making products that other people don't have. And that's really difficult in your market, okay? I want you guys to hear this, because a lot of markets that are like this, there are markets that out there that have very similar designs, okay? You guys know what I'm talking about. Digital cutting files are very much like that. If you're selling t-shirts, shirts with text or writing on them, usually there's a lot of very, very similar items out there. And so your conversion rates might be lower because you have a lot of people shopping around, especially if you're on a platform like Etsy, okay, or even Amazon. So, I mean, of course, we're going to talk about you building a following, which I think everybody will benefit from. But the biggest challenge in regards to just conversions from you getting it from your engaged audience. This is easier said than done, okay? But I am also challenging myself when I say this, but we have to come up with designs that are really different. And yes, it's hard to protect certain designs. If it's just font styles with text, this will be hard to protect, right? But the reality is, Karina, okay, and everybody else that sells designs that are usually similar to other people in the market, is that you have to really push yourself to create designs that nobody has, that it really pushes the envelope with design. Next, on top of that, Karina, what makes you different? So when I go to your listing of this SVG file, is that what it is? SVG file? I want to know, am I better off purchasing from you or somebody else? You know, when I download your SVG file, is there instructions? Is there like, you know, do you have branding in your shop? So I feel like you're not just some regular person just creating these files, but like I feel like you offer variety. Do you offer a discount for like, one second, like, you know how you like buy multiples? So in your business, you could easily get conversions because people need to sometimes buy multiples in your business if they're business owners. And so especially if you have a wide variety. So how do you encourage multiple buying? By giving discounts for multiple buying. On Etsy, you're able to set up a sale if they buy 3 or more items or 2 or more items, or even, I think, a tiered promotion, okay? You can do that on Amazon as well if you sell on Amazon. Consider that to help with conversions, all right? But building an audience is really important for a lot of us, especially in Karina's particular case. Especially when you have certain types of businesses, it's really important to build an engaged following because they are expected to repeat buy from you, okay? And depending on what you sell, you may be better off building an engaged following in certain areas. So somebody might be better off doing it on Instagram versus email list, or et cetera. An engaged following, meaning people that when you post or write to them, they actually are paying attention. So let me go back to this comment here. Oh, a lot of comments today. Okay, and in your case, I would easily recommend email list, a Facebook group, depending on how much variety if you have. If you only have like 30 products listed, it might be hard to build a following. How about build your product line first, right? So people want to be engaged with you and say, let's see what Karina comes up with new, you know? Again, pushing the envelope with design. So people say, yes, I want to be part of her engaged group, so I know what's coming up because she has the most awesome stuff. So again, email list because they are looking forward to hearing from you because they are business owners needing your products. Facebook group could have a high engagement rate, and Instagram because a lot of business owners hang out on Instagram, okay? So those are the 3 things I recommend. Let me move on, okay? Because I want to get to everybody. Abby says, hello, she sells pillows, driving sales to my.com. Is what she has a challenge with, and her goal is to increase sales by 2x this year so my husband can join me full time. Okay, cool. So I would probably need a little more information from you, Abby, and so this is probably not the best place to do it, so I'm gonna answer in general. Okay, again, not knowing too much about your business. I'm assuming when you sell pillows, you mean pillows with certain designs on them. Okay, so the first thing I would tell you is, 1, these pillow designs have to be created considering the target customer in mind, okay? So what do people care about when, for example, you sell nursery items? When you sell nursery items, they care about matching their nursery theme, okay? You get the point. And so when you sell pillow type items, they care that it matches their decor. So what you have to do, Abby, and everybody else out there that sells something similar, you have to create products, designs that are on trend and that work with the colors that are in somebody's current living room. And so what Abby has to do is understand what are the colors in people's living rooms? What are the 5 most popular color palettes in people's living rooms, right? And start creating things around those color palettes, and then thinking about design. You know, do people want text on their pillows? Do people want flowers? Do people like? So there's a lot of research that goes behind this. I'm not sure if Abby has already done it. She might have some insight to it. However, there's always, by the way, even me, I still continue to do research on what's trending and what people want. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, when you're in the pillow market, whatever that may mean, I don't know if you sell the full pillow or just a pillow cover, you know, and you don't have to answer, Abby. I don't know how much you make. I don't know what 2x means, because doubling your revenue, if you go from 5,000, 10,000 is fairly easy, but when you go from 40 to 80, it can be more difficult. You guys know that it's easier to double and triple your revenue when you're first starting. Like, I doubled my revenue often in the past years, but now it's very hard to double my revenue, right? What I'm trying to say is that it may be difficult for Abby or anybody else to do this big goal, depending on what that actual number is, on pillows alone. And so naturally, if we are business owners who are actually not hobbyists who are actually running a business. It's natural for us to provide a variety, to expand in our product line, okay? And so what makes sense for Abby, and this might take a hot minute for Abby to decide what that's gonna be, but what makes sense within your market that your customers would appreciate. But Abby shouldn't be making pillows and then maybe making personalized coffee mugs. That's a little off. Maybe Abby makes home decor items, you know, that's reasonable for her to make, that makes sense for her. Like there's certain things in my paper industry that fits within my market, but doesn't make sense for me to make, okay, for cost reasons, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to get there yet. So she has to learn to expand in order to get to her goal potentially. Again, I don't know what her goal is. If it's 5,000 to 10,000, it may be easier, but if it's much more, pillows can be very difficult. Now, just before I move on to her second point of what her challenge is, it does not mean you cannot actually make, for example, 80 grand off of pillows. You absolutely can. But here's a challenge that Abby has now, okay? One, you should always offer variety to your customers. It's really good to do that in your market because then you'll have repeat business. It helps add on your sales, helps the average sale. But more importantly, the way to do it is to expand the ways you get revenue. So for example, if you only want to sell pillows, if you want it to be like the pillow master, okay? It's a little bit more difficult, by the way, but you kind of have to be everywhere. So we talk about Pinterest, right? Really building your presence on Pinterest, okay? You could definitely build an email list. I'd probably put that as a priority, but a little bit before. So how many pillows does somebody actually really need unless you offer a variety of different items in your shop? But Pinterest is a really great one, okay? Instagram is another, okay, because you're in the home decor type of item. I would even recommend joining houzz.com. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, HOUZZ.com. If you're in the home decor home decor market, you should definitely consider playing around with that website, okay? So there's a way that Abby could make that X amount of money on just pillows alone, but it's a different journey for her. It's more about marketing. And so she has to up her game in Pinterest, right? She hasn't already done so. She's up her game in Instagram, and she hasn't already done so. Email lists, all kind of working together, okay? And of course, a lot of these are snowballing strategies, meaning it takes time to build, and eventually she could get that. But just know that, you know, driving traffic using those three, again, does take time to build, all right? So again, I'm gonna move on to the next person. Hope that helps you a little bit. Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay. Michelle, a lot of people are concerned with conversions, I see. So Michelle, she said she offers personalized prints. Conversions is her issue, and her goal is a new product line. Well, I mean, I kind of answered a few things already, but I'm going to say something to Michelle, not knowing too much about her product line. If you sell personalized prints, I'm assuming it's things that you digitally create, and you know, people buy it. And so the market currently is saturated on Etsy if you're on Etsy. So it's a little bit more difficult to create prints. And here's the reality. I'm gonna say this because I want to be honest with you guys. Everybody that has like Microsoft Word feels like they could create and sell prints, okay? But that's not really the case, is it? There's a lot of designers out there, again, I'm not trying to qualify you if you're a designer or not, but are upset because it's like, no, it takes a lot more than that, or etc. However, people that are willy-nilly just opening up a shop trying to sell prints because they're fairly easy to sell and create are selling, right? So they're taking market share away from you, which hurts conversions. So here's the thing for Michelle. Keep pushing the envelope with design. This is easier said than done, meaning, you know, after this call, you might say, Dahlia is right, let me start creating new designs. It's not going to happen overnight, okay? I'm always trying to push the envelope with design. And again, it takes some time to realize, hey, I'm not creating something that looks the same as everybody else's, okay? However, if you think you're more awesome than everybody else, even if they look similar, the best way to do it and help with conversions is getting people to your website as opposed to Etsy, because there's not a whole bunch of noise around that they might be distracted with. So if they look at your art print and say, that's beautiful, but I'm gonna look somewhere else on Etsy to see if I can get a better price, then that might be troublesome for you, you know? So that's that. Conversion, again, you're probably being hurt with conversion rates because of that reason. In this type of business, the conversion rates will be lower because of the competition you have. Now, how do you offset that? Is having an engaged audience, having a fan base, okay? The fan base will come from people that you talk to, market to, and they end up purchasing. So where do you get that from? Email list, Instagram, right? Believe it or not, it's not Pinterest. Pinterest, you can get conversions, but the conversion rates are usually lower. For me, that is not a big deal because it's a lot of free traffic going to you. So it might lower conversion rate. So it might not be a true accurate number. So the thing to do is build that engaged following. Again, it takes time, but I recommend for you, again, you're in this type of home decor situation, I'd highly recommend Instagram. Well, Pinterest has nothing to do with conversion rate, but Pinterest to bring traffic to you and slowly building that email list. Okay, let me move on. Anna says she sells stickers, and 2, her challenge is transform views into sales. And she wants to do this full time. So, I mean, again, we talked about conversion rates quite a bit. I don't know what type of stickers you sell, so it's kind of hard to answer. The type of stickers I'm aware of people that sell is planner stickers. So guys, when you're answering these questions, be as specific as you can. Otherwise, I can't answer your question. If you are selling that type of stuff, just for the record, your planner sticker market has been highly saturated. And the way to win, besides great SEO and bringing traffic in from Pinterest, because that's a really great place to bring it from, and Instagram and a Facebook group, is go where your engaged following is. And your engaged following is hanging out all over Instagram and hanging out all over Facebook. There are actually a lot of places. Which is good news for you, meaning you could pick where you want to kind of build your following and focus on that. Or a Facebook group, of course, giving them incentive to join either one. But an email list, they're everywhere. And so to work on conversions, Alina, is to work on your fan base and getting them into one place so you can market to them. So when you have something releasing or a sale or something, you could email them and boom, they all swarm in, okay? Katie says she sells leather wrist wallets. Her challenges is photos, sizing, education, information, and descriptions. That's a good point. I'm going to say this because I'm assuming you're sizing education information. People that have to educate people about their products before they purchase so they know what to purchase can be difficult. If I was Katie, what I would do easily is in the second photo is have not just a sizing chart, but well, I would assume wrists are easy to size, meaning like wrap, fabric tape, measuring tape around you, get that exact size. I don't know exactly how you measure, okay? But it may take you getting creative with that for people to understand, yes, I know how to measure my wrists now, So you have to work on that education and you have to get clever with it and show it to people who don't know how to size for that product and get their feedback, okay? If you have an engaged following, ask them. If you don't and you find that they, even with the photo, they're not still getting it, or if they don't see it, that's another story. But if they don't understand, you have to do a better job at it to continue reworking it. If they don't see it, it's really important, by the way, in that type of product, you have to put it in several different areas. So in the top of the description, okay? I don't know if I would put it in the title, but I would also put it in somehow in the drop-down menu in the variations. But even on the first photo, we don't like to put text usually on it because it's on the first photo. But you know how like on Etsy, they let you zoom in, right? I would do that on the bottom. I would say, see sizing chart for details or something like that. And then on the first photo, that shows on search, you would zoom in to cut that part off. But when they actually go to your listing, they would easily see it, okay? Contrast text, think about that. Being very informative, seeing something like, go to the second photo for sizing details or something like that, okay? So Jennifer, before your comment cuts off, vinyl decals on Etsy, doing so many changes and being sure I'm on the right track before launching on Amazon. Goals to complete Etsy and move on to Amazon by June. I know what your goal is, and you're absolutely right in doing what you're doing. I'm not sure exactly what the changes are that you're doing, but in vinyl decal market, you're very similar to the person I spoke to about the SVG market. So if you just replay this and listen to that, you'll be on the right track. Michelle, wedding and christening jewelry is what she sells. 2 sales on my website and just regular sales. Okay, sales on your website is easier said than done because one, I have to ask Michelle, are you getting the traffic? If you're getting the traffic, then you obviously have a problem with convert. A lot of people have a problem with conversions, it seems, okay? Well, let's attack it both ways. If you're not getting traffic, how do you get traffic to your website, okay? We talk about this many, many times. Make sure you check out my Facebook Lives on it. And so what you want to do is have a plan. So do you have Google SEO going and slowly building itself? Do you have an email list going? So if you sell wedding and christening jewelry, you probably have a non-repeat business. I'd highly recommend definitely doing Pinterest and Instagram. Learning how to master those in order to help you bring traffic to that website. However, if you're like, I get the traffic, or you can always build it more, but if I get the traffic, but you need to work on sales, or I have to get the traffic with the sales, then for the sales part, I did a Facebook Live actually a few weeks ago, and I want you to catch it, please, Michelle. It's about 6 ways to make your website convert better. There's obviously much more ways to help you make your website convert better, but those are really essential ways. Please visit that Facebook Live. I want to keep moving on, but it has a lot to do with professionalism on your website, people learning to trust your website so they can purchase, right? What leads to a customer to purchase if they love that product, right? They have to trust that person, website. They have to make sure that the variations are on point. FAQs are where they have to be, except, I talk about chat feature on there, etc. So Mahogany, is that how I say it? Mahogany, I think so. I sell hair accessories. And 2, her challenge is how to market on social media, Instagram specifically, selling on a more consistent basis. Okay, let's talk about number 2, right? Which is how to market on social media, on Instagram. It can be very tricky for a lot of people, okay? Mahogany's goal, anybody's goal to sell on Instagram is a few different things. And so 1, you have to have a following there, right? You have to build that following. And how do you build a following on Instagram, guys? The legit way, okay? Legit way to build a following on Instagram is to get engaged followers. And how do you do that? So obviously to post fantastic photos, right? So attractive photos that make people want to follow, that inspire people, okay? Because they see it on their feed. People scroll Instagram in between things in their life, right? And so they want to be inspired. They don't want to look at a stream of shitty photos, right? So what that means is make sure that it's always on target, your photos, and attractive. When I say on target, meaning if you sell hair accessories for kids, that one day you don't post a picture of you and your dog. It's irrelevant. I have unfollowed people, small business owners, that post irrelevant things that annoy me. It's not what I got into. I didn't sign up for this, okay? So that's number 1. And next thing you have to do besides that is, of course, hashtags are really, really important on Instagram. And so I don't know how long this feature has been around, but people can now follow hashtags, which is really exciting. And so on their feed, like I follow certain hashtags that I'm interested in seeing, not just a person, which I absolutely love more than following a person, okay? So they're able to follow hashtags. So if I want to follow baby accessories as a hashtag, because I have a baby or something, right? Then I'm able to see what people are posting often, okay? And get inspired by that. So hashtagging for you is really important, Mahogany, and everybody else that wants to do an Instagram situation. And so it's important to understand what your target customer is searching for. And so this is what I do, okay? Well, I don't use Instagram, but when I give people advice, this is what I tell them to do. I tell them, imagine your customer's on Instagram right now. Think about the customer. Be the customer. So if you're selling hair accessories for kids, I don't know what you're selling exactly, but you say, okay, I'm a mom, I have kids, and I'm interested in hair accessories, okay? So I have a little girl, I want to dress her up, she's cute, like I'm trying to get into the mindset, right? And I'm looking for Instagram things to follow. What would I be typing in? I type in girls' hair accessories, cute hair bows, these types of hashtags, okay? So hashtags your winner. And this is, by the way, not just great photos on target as well as hashtags. You also want to make sure that you're doing it consistently. Using Instagram, by the way, it is not for somebody that's overly busy. I mean, everybody's busy, but you have to be consistent with it. You can't start an Instagram strategy, looks good, and decide that I'm going to be inconsistent with it. There has to be a schedule, okay? So when Mahogany or anybody else wants to commit to it, you got to commit, all right? So that's that. Build your following, etc. Then what do you do when you actually have that following and you want to consistently engage them? There's a few different ways. I'm not going to go through all the ways today, but I feel like this would help a lot of people. 1, if you have a discount to offer them during a sale or something that's really exclusive, when you post it several times throughout the day or days, and then delete the old post so it doesn't look like you're spamming, okay, in your posts or stories, or post things in between that look slightly different but the same sale, okay, so different graphics. So that's 1, to get people to engage. 2, you have to give them clear instructions. So do they click the link in the profile, or do they do what's new now, which I absolutely love, which is, when you see on Instagram, tap to view products, you could shop directly from there. And so you have to have like Facebook shop set up, and then you have to connect the 2 and blah, blah. You could Google it, you could figure it out, but have to have that to make it easy for the customer, okay, to shop those products. But don't make everything in your feed about shoppable, okay? Posting pictures of your customers, babies, whatever, wearing this, hair accessories, etc. would probably be ideal. Again, telling people where to shop to get it. Click link in profile or tap to view products. Another thing to do is post relevant things, because in your type of business, you probably will. So right before 4th of July, make sure you show these 4th of July bows that are really relevant so people can purchase it on time, because that's what they're searching for. Of course, use appropriate hashtags, okay? Again, I'm just giving you a few tips. I have to move on. All right. Katie says, how do you calculate conversion rates? It is number of orders divided by number of views. People say number of orders divided by number of sessions, which is number of visits technically. Do what you will, because there's a different train of thought when it comes to it. Like the conversion rate should be per person, how many people you converted, and that's fine. Some people say, no, do it by views, because if they looked at several items, which items they actually purchase, either way, it's a number of orders divided by number of views. Oh, and then you times that by 100, and that's your conversion rate. I'm not sure if SEO is my problem necessarily, but views have tanked and sales have as well. It could be a problem, or it could be because Etsy's screwing with a lot of us. We know that. If you feel like your SEO is good, you need to work on another strategy. If SEO is your only strategy to get traffic, there's other bigger issues. Now, if you just started selling online 6 months ago, 3 months ago, then maybe it's not a big issue. You can't do everything all at once, okay? Unfortunately, if you just started selling and you're riding the wave of Etsy crap, meaning you just started and Etsy has not worked for you because it's already screwing with people and you never got a chance to experience the great Etsy times, okay? That might be harder said than done, but you have to work on other strategies, Claire says she sells positive, colorful art and gifts. My challenge is how to get them from where I am now to how to make this a viable business. Or maybe that's my goal. My challenge is how to go from making what I love to finding my niche target to get sales flowing in. It's a difficult question to answer, but I want to answer it, so hold on. So Claire sells some things, but she needs it to make it into a really profitable business. I feel like, I'm not sure if Claire's in the beginning stages of her business, but it feels like it, right? Because she hasn't figured out her niche and target to get sales flowing in. And so it's a little bit harder to answer here, to be honest. A lot of people came to this Facebook Live for the free mini coaching session. It's fantastic. But what you don't realize is that I already gave you information you probably already need, maybe, in these Facebook Lives before. All you have to do is rewatch and take note, actionable note. So I'm going to answer one more, and that is it. Yeah, Stacy, just search for brand rep or something of that sort, brand reps or things like that. I think should be able to find it. I know some of those groups are secret, but some are not. Cassie says she sells stationery, particularly wedding stationery. Her challenge is staying focused on what I want my business to be. I agree to non-stationary items too often because I'm physically able to complete it. I don't know what non-stationary items are that you're referring to, but okay. Opening an Etsy store and starting my website. Currently only sell through Facebook. If you sell through Facebook, that's fine. But if you want to open an Etsy store and a website, let's get it done, okay? So Etsy store is fairly easy to open. I don't need to walk people through it. There's a lot of if and ands in there, setting up payments, setting up this, like you'll figure it out and you'll get it done, okay? But the reality is you have to have a plan. So I talk about SKU sheets a lot. And so if you have, I don't know how many items you have, if you have 50 items, you have to start tacking it a little at a time, right? Listing your first, listing your second. And of course, when you're listing, you have to do SEO, you have to do variations, you have to do description, great photos, blah, 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 right? So getting those in order and getting it done, knocking it out one by one is really important. If there's somebody working with you, they could also help with the listing process and you can go back and adjust. But let's get that open if you want to get it open. I mean, you have to just work it, you have to work it into your current schedule. I don't know how busy you are. I would start with the Etsy shop first before you do a website. For the sheer fact that it's probably easier to open an Etsy shop, I think many people agree, because when you open a website, there's a lot of more if and ands depending on where you start. I'd recommend Shopify, but it's the other piece of driving traffic to it, okay? It's a little harder. So I'd recommend in your business, definitely Google SEO, Pinterest to help you drive traffic, and even Instagram, okay? I actually have a couple of people in my email list course who are wedding stationery designers who do very well with their email list, okay? So, and they're very happy that they have one. So something to consider as well. But those have to build over time and you have to have a plan for them before you build up a website, okay? Staying focused on what I want my business to be. I mean, the biggest thing when some people lack focus, a lot of times it's lacking motivation, okay? Maybe. For Cassie, I'm sorry. It probably is the fact that, because it's really simple. When you're in the wedding stationery business, there's only X amount of things you should do if you want to stay focused. Wedding invitations, RSVP cards, escort cards, place cards, table numbers, like day of wedding items, right? And so I think you should stay within that realm. I don't know what other products you're creating. It may make sense for you. If Cassie has a team of people working for her, she may want to create a selection of gift favors. It's not a bad thing as long as it makes sense for her and her business and people actually running her business. But if not, then I think you should stick to wedding invitations and then branch out to just paper type of goods within the wedding category. If you're telling me, Dahlia, I know I have a problem focusing on that, well, something you have to work on personally. Maybe you have an accountability buddy. Maybe you have something that motivates you, whether it be listening to my Facebook Lives, like whatever it is to help you stay focused, okay? Now, if you are like, Dahlia, but I don't want to say no to money when a wedding customer is like, hey, make this and that for me, and I'm physically able to. I mean, there's no right business model. People can absolutely branch out within that market that makes sense. So you're still catering to the wedding customer. So it's not a horrible thing, but master paper first within the wedding category before you branch out, okay? To take a job here and there is not a horrible thing, especially it gives you more experience within that market. See, one, if you want to even get into it permanently, and two, to see if it's feasible. Like, are you profitable with it? How much labor it takes, all that stuff, you know? So I'm gonna end this call. Love you guys. I don't mind doing this again, maybe slightly different style, maybe like more particular about what are your challenges about driving traffic or like something. Maybe not, we'll see. Again, I just want you guys to find it helpful. I won't be able to get to everybody again next time. It's just the reality of it, but it's for free. So, and again, if you just listen, you might be able to find tips that may relate to you. I am gonna let you guys go. Hope you enjoyed today's Facebook Live. All right, guys, I will see you next week, and of course in the group throughout the week. And that's it. Have a fantastic day. Bye.